Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And do subscribe our YouTube and Telegram channels. Now let's start our discussion.
Welcome to yet another episode of English Lecture Notes. Today's topic of discussion is Shakespearean Tragicomedies. First, we will discuss what is tragicomedy. A tragicomedy is a dramatic work incorporating both tragic and comic elements. Tragicomedy is a literary genre that blends aspects of both tragic and comic forms, most often seen in dramas. A tragicomedy might be a serious drama interspersed with funny moments that periodically lighten the mood. A tragicomedy is a term that first emerged around the 3rd century BC, when the Roman comedian Plautus used the Latin tragicomedia to refer to his play Amphitryo. Shakespeare's plays generally accepted as tragicomedy plays are Symboline, The Merchant of Venice, The Winter's Tale. First, we will discuss The Merchant of Venice as a tragicomedy. The Merchant of Venice can be categorized as a tragicomedy. It has a comic structure, but one of the central characters, Shylock's plight, very much like a tragic character. The play has a comic ending, with the lovers pairing off, and we also left with Shylock, destroyed by his own faults. The feeling at the end of the play is neither joy nor misery. The play has a comic structure, but there is also a powerful tragic story. It can therefore be called a tragicomedy. The Jew is failed in his purpose of revenge on Antonio is let off on condition that he be turned into a Christian and give his property to his daughter and son-in-law. The situation, which was thought as a tragedy, is reversed and takes a turn towards happy ending. In this play, Shakespeare violates all the 3 classical unities, the unity of time, the unity of place, and the unity of action, and this violation is also romantic. The drama ends happily for Antonio, but tragically for Shylock. Thus the very mingling of the comic tragic elements makes The Merchant of Venice a tragicomedy or a romantic comedy. Next, The Winter's Tale. One of Shakespeare's perfect tragicomedies is The Winter's Tale. The first 3 acts of this play are both tragic and serious, while the final 2 acts are based on pastoral romance, roguery, songs, humor, and reunion. A sheep-shearing celebration with the elegant, innocent Perdita serving as a hostess, dancing and singing with shepherds, is suggestive of rural life in England. The blend of suffering, sorrows, humor, romance, forgiveness, and reunion in the play confirms it as a tragicomedy. There are different aspects of the tragicomedy in the play that include tragic elements, comic elements, romantic elements, and a happy ending. As a tragicomedy, the play has an incredible plot. The play also shrouds the elements of tragedy and death. These elements of tragedy and death is what makes the story incredible and leaves the audience in an astonishing tone. There are many deaths that begin with the opening of the plot, where one can see the death of King Leon's son, Prince Mamilius. The death continues with the Queen Hermione, who also dies of grief over her deceased son. It also continues to Antigonus, who his tragic death devoured by a bear, because he responded to the loyalty of Leon's, rather than responding to his conscience. As a tragicomedy, Shakespeare's comical element is gender equality. The supernatural elements is also important aspect of Shakespearean tragicomedy. Shakespeare has mixed both supernatural elements again in his tragicomedy, but also inputted a pastoral elements. As a tragicomedy, the play has an incredible plot. Tragicomedy has a plot which appears really great to the readers and audiences. It always starts with the tragic note, leaving the audience that the play itself will end in deadly tragedy, but ends with a happy ending. Symboline is also considered as a tragicomedy, since the first 3 acts of the play feel like mini-tragedy, while the play's second half feels like a comedy. There's a murder plot and a kidnapping. It seems like the whole thing is doomed by the time Imogen herself dies. Yet, Symboline, unlike Shakespeare's full-out tragedies, has a happy ending. Families are reconciled, a couple is reunited, and order is restored between the kingdoms. Actually, only the evil characters die. It is dealing with serious material and weighty themes but still ultimately end with happiness. Shakespeare wrote to please the interests of the monarchs, and this type of story was becoming more popular during the early 1600s, so it seems Shakespeare was following the trends. Shakespeare's tragicomedies usually have improbable and complex plots, populated by characters of high social class. The tragicomedy was hailed centuries later by the 19th century Romantic writers as a form of art that most closely mirrors nature. In life, rarely are our experiences exclusively tragic or comic. Thus, we can say that Shakespeare's success is also with tragicomedy. It is one reason why his works continue to be so popular more than after 400 years.
That's all for today. If you find this video informative, please do subscribe our channel and don't forget to click the bell icon to get the notification of our coming videos. Thank you for watching.